Howdy, Chris McLean here, and on the show today with me in the studio, I have Tamara and Lorenzo from Organic Scaling Systems. They help coaches, agencies, and high-ticket entrepreneurs scale by outsourcing and systemizing their lead generation with appointment setting teams. Excited to hear all about that. Lorenzo, Tamara, thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming on the show. I know it's a little later for you in the evening, so I appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting us, Chris.
Thank you.
So take us through, I always like to start at the start. Take us through, how did Organic Scaling Systems come about? Did you have previous experience separately before you came together? Is this the first thing you've launched? Take us back to how did this all come about, and then we'll get into what you do and how you help, because I think it's a really cool offer.
Cool, nice. Love it. Lorenzo, I will let you start, and I will add some spicy details from the journey.
And
all the experiences we went through.
Love it. So these like networking calls that you do sometimes, like once in a while, to see what's happening in your industry. This is where I met Tamara about 1 year ago, starting in like April 2020, full lockdown.
Yeah, right.
Basically, I was doing copywriting and also appointment setting at that moment. So I just looked at her profile. You got a tons of, equity built. So I said, let's monetize your profile, right? So we worked together to launch an offer for affiliates, and it was about how can affiliates make money with high-ticket affiliate marketing. So that was actually the first offer that we launched, and it's still running. And then I pretty much, we channeled our previous experience, obviously my experience as a copywriter and appointment setter as a part-time gig when it was starting, for our affiliates, and it turned out to be very successful. We had affiliates that were bringing in consistently 10K a month each one with our system, like from organic. So we said, okay, if this is working with affiliates, I'm doing appointment setting, this is like crushing it. Why should people stay away from this, especially if they have a Facebook group or an email list or some kind of following? It's very easy to monetize nowadays if you know how to write somewhat decent copy or get into appointment setting. So this is kind of what we did with Tamara. I mean, what I did, because she managed the whole sales part, and that's her zone of genius, I would say, right? And this is how the offer really came to life.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So is that the truth, Tamara? Is that that's what actually happened?
Yes, it's actually what happened, right? We started working together. We had audience to monetize. Then what's the interesting part was, okay, so how are we going to make these people perform, right? So this is where the expertise of both of us came in place. Me with the closing, obviously, it has a lot to do with the communication and guiding teams, because before even starting working online, I was running teams, I was in direct sales. So it kind of came natural for me to be able to run the team and see what are the pieces of the process that need to be optimized. So when we launched that affiliate offer, we suddenly had 30, 40 clients inside of the business, and someone had to manage those people and someone had to give them guidance. So we quickly built up our SOPs, we built up our processes. We were going back and forth with Lorenzo to solidify the whole process and distillate that to a simple, I would say, game plan that people can actually follow. And we know everybody who sticks to the process that they are going to get results. So it was the beginning of our, I would say, trademark, to something that it's becoming maybe the signature of our current offer, to be able to turn those skills into systems. So we are moving away from this idea of, okay, our skills only reserved for people who are extremely gifted, or maybe they are unique, or they have been born with the gift to be salespeople or copywriters, or to be able to lead or whatever. We turn that into a system, we build that into a process, and now becomes all systematized, a very predictable process. And this is how we delivered results inside of that affiliate program. And then we said, this makes total sense for even more sophisticated markets that are struggling to actually get into that that place where they can predictably rely on their systems as to scale seamlessly, as to have peace of mind and run a business that it's based on something that it's mathematical. You can calculate, you can measure, and you can always course correct. So that's pretty much how everything, I think, started, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, that literally this is the peak performance and predictable growth show. So we like things that are predictable and consistent, particularly on the agency side. If you can have that predictable stream of pipeline coming through, so you can bank on knowing what leads, what's coming into your business, sort of month on month. So what are you actually doing? So in terms of, so say I'm an agency. I've got a Facebook group that's particularly for my niche. Maybe it's auto traders, maybe it's real estate, maybe it's dentists, whatever it is, that's my niche. I've got a really thriving Facebook community, or I've got a great email list. What are you actually doing? Where are you stepping in, and how are you helping me convert that into sales, convert that into booked appointments? What's the process that you take people through?
Right. So let's say you have a Facebook group, right? I mean, let's take a look at the industry right now. It's very skeptical. People are getting skeptical. Everyone is a coach, and everyone wants to charge $5,000 even without prior experience, right?
Yeah.
So it's becoming quite difficult to break through, and everyone is relying on old strategies like two-step posts and the two-step script. Everyone knows the 3 questions: what's your offer, what's your goal, and what's your biggest struggle? And then you try to convert them into a paid client, right?
Yeah.
It's becoming quite saturated, right? It is working, and it will always work, but it's becoming quite saturated. So the idea is that it's not to scrape leads off of Facebook. It's not where you outbound call every person on Facebook. Like, you build a system, you build a community that allows people to see what you're up to. Like, this builds up relationship equity, which is extremely important in order to monetize later on the audience. Relationship equity can come from low ticket offers who monetize a group of 300 low ticket buyers to $80,000. So huge equity built there. Facebook groups are pulling out consistently $15,000, $20,000 without almost touching lead generation. Like, affiliates are doing the work for us, right? So just to give you an idea, that if you build this equity, this relationship, and you have a pretty decent lead flow, meaning that you get leads daily that can be done with advertising, with partnership, with JVs. So what's the next step? The next step is actually guiding your Facebook members through the resources, through the group, right? And actually book an appointment to you by showing that you're relevant, right? So what most people do, they try to qualify. Actually, it's more a diagnose, right? And we're talking with Tamara today about the offer and how to take pressure off the offer, right? And pressure off the conversation. Because Tamara and I have been working on, this is our offer. It's a great offer. And there must be a way to communicate that in Messenger so that people don't feel pushed through to the sale and actually are open to get help, right? So this is probably the first step. And Tamara is really the genius behind Messenger. So I'd love if she could share some more insight on this Messenger process and Messenger mastery. But what I saw is, we have an offer. Copywriters are great at creating offers. Let's remove the pressure, right? For increase the relationship, the equity that you have with these people once they're in your ecosystem. So then it's easier to convert them because they already know you. They know what you're up to. But starting from that, then call to action posts, that obviously all the strategies to monetize the audience, like call to action posts, live streams. You can do mini events, master classes, low ticket launches, high ticket launches, JV partnerships. The best way is probably to make them pay something so that you weed out tire kickers, right? So you create a smaller batch of buyers, like a low ticket, low ticket buyers, and then you convert them by just inviting them, right? That's what's called a soft offer, a mechanism offer, as I like to call it, because they see the mechanism they see the trust, they see what you're up to, and even if they're skeptical, then they end up trusting you because like they see that you're legit, that it's working. Most people actually overcomplicate this, but when you have lead flow, it's pretty easy to convert that into paid like appointments.
Yeah. So when you talk about that sort of that micro commitment, what sort of price are you? Is this an $8 product, an ebook? Is it a $27 thing? What is it? $200? Does it depend really on the audience and the market? When you're talking about a low ticket, get that buying, get people used to buying from you and create that relationship of I'm the authority and you're buying from me to sort of set that up at the beginning. What does that look like in terms of an offer? Is that a paid training? Is it a paid webinar? Is it a $3 ebook? What kind of price are you generally sort of looking at for that kind of stuff?
Right. So, Tamara, we had some troubles with the pricing at the beginning, right? For adjusting. Like, I think the main idea is what's the price that allows you to create, like, to attract your ideal clients and still like break even on advertising.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's going to be dependent on the market. If it's a high ticket, if it's real estate agents or somebody that they're selling a high ticket commission or something, you can charge it. It could be a $200-$300 introductory offer because that's light compared to a lower ticket. It might be a $27 product because that's suitable for the market. Is that sort of how you see it?
Right, absolutely. I mean, I've seen low ticket, like 5K workshops replacing a $27 workshop and then upselling to like $20,000 products.
Right.
So it's not more about the price point of what would be the price point. It's what the industry is ready to pay for. What are these elements that will go inside of the offer that will attract the ideal buyer, right? And it has the whole process of preparation that comes in front of it. People will just launch a challenge. I mean, who cares about challenge? Everybody has been on those challenges. People are oversaturated. Yeah. But what is the needle mover? Like, what will make this industry, people who are like, getting into the program, pulling their credit card, and they're like, I want to make sure that this is not just another program and it will be as transformational as the marketing message. But in order to extract that type of marketing message, we have to do the whole process of preparation and get this unique product, this self-liquidating product, or a soft offer like Lorenzo called it, or a soft conversion mechanism like he called it. How can we get it to a point that resonates so clearly to the audience that really the entry point is not important? They're just like hungry to discover what's the next step and how can I get to the final product, right? So we're creating a very hungry audience of buyers instead of random people who are just like interested into the products or services. These are people who have intention to buy and scale their business or whatever would be the outcome for the industry that we are running that offer for. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I love it. So you're starting that, you're sort of setting that breadcrumb trail, but you're starting the breadcrumb trail with a buyer. So you're not sort of giving free all the way through to now it's a $10,000 mastermind program. You're sort of setting that condition up that they're sort of buying along the way.
No, 100%, because like you weed out tire kickers. People always ask, how do you weed out tire kickers and time wasters? I mean, if you're talking to tire kickers and time wasters, it's your fault because your qualification process is not dialed in. This is the number one reason why you need setters, right? To like take care of the tire kickers, not to like lose like deals in follow-up. And also, but people overlook the pricing factor of these soft offers because the price, like the money that you make up front means nothing. When we do affiliate launches, we give away 100% of the commissions to affiliates. That's not really a problem. And also, like when you do these kind of launches, the most important part is that you monetize a bigger portion of the audience is not ready to buy yet. Like 2-3% of your audience is ready to buy. How do you tap into the remaining 96-97% who's not ready to buy yet? Obviously, you can't burn your offer with the same message again and again. So you need like multiple angles to monetize the same audience without burning out the audience, actually, right? So this is the reason why you have these mini offers, that someone would resonate with a mini offer A, someone would resonate with mini offer B, and mini offer C will be another angle so that you can rotate them and you can see which one performs the best, run paid traffic to that, build a stream of buyers, have your selling team and your sales team to get there to do lead generation there as a priority, and then monetize. Because with 300 people, we got $80,000 out of 300 people audience, which is crazy.
Yeah, wow.
And you don't get to talk to tire kickers and time wasters. Like, I mean, you do eventually. So nothing is perfect, but it is 1%.
Yeah. So to pull that kind of money out of a 300 people audience, I think people assume that you've got to have thousands of people on a list or in a community to really monetize at that level, but that's considerable. So you're really talking about taking. So I've got this my core offer, whether that's an SEO package, is sort of thinking on the agency side, it's a done for you SEO service or a website. Am I essentially taking kind of pieces of that and giving different perspectives of that and sort of chunking that down to maybe it's an SEO audit, right? It's a $100 SEO audit, and that's or a diagnostic or a tool or something that sort of leads into what the bigger service is without giving away the whole pie. Is that the kind of stuff that you sort of see working on that at that front end offer?
Got it. So that's a good question.
Right. And Lorenzo, I will add, like in meanwhile, it has to be transformational. Like, how can we build equity in such a competitive market, right? So if we just it's not about giving away a freebie or something that it's not actually going to transform their lives, but what is the angle that will actually make them buy into the final solution? Like, they want to know, how can this business owner help me implement this? That's the ultimate question we want the person to ask, right? So this is probably where I would say most of the people will go wrong. They treat it as something that is like another challenge, or let's just get some connections or people to get to know us. But it's more about like, how can we kill the competition? Like how can we be the top of mind solution in this moment, and be the person that they will like, regardless, even if they get 10 offers in meanwhile, they will choose to work with us, right?
I do have a bonus for agencies though, because a lot of agencies tend to do like done for you services. If I were an agency and had to launch an SEO service and like choosing this low ticket model, like business model here, what I would do as a low ticket offer is basically showcase the whole process in minimal detail and make it look so complex that people will actually pay you to make it easy. Like, okay, do it for me. Because, people pay for, knowledge or time. So they actually get there better, or they get there faster.
Yeah.
Obviously, with all the knowledge, they could get there themselves. But we're like using the fact that, okay, let's not waste 10 years trying to figure this out on my own and just do it for me. Because if you're targeting correctly, you're speaking to people that have more money than time. So it would be the next logical step. So if you're doing done for you services, this is probably the best angle. If you're doing more coaching, consulting, let's say you're doing sales coaching. Well, sales, in order to improve at sales, you need sales calls. And if someone doesn't have sales calls booked in calendar, you can't really help them. So what I would do as a self-liquidating offer is lead generation offer, where you fill the calendar of these people and they have calendar that's full of leads. Oh, I can't convert them. Well, I happen to be a sales mentor.
Right. It's the old, sounds a lot like the old help people by actually helping them model, right? Actually you're giving them part of the transformation up front for a minimal investment.
It's real value though.
Yeah, but it's genuine value, actually helping them by helping them. You actually get, as Tamara was saying, you're actually giving them part of the transformation without giving them the entire transformation. You're showing them this is what that looks like. This is what that transformation feels like, giving them a little taste of it and something tangible where they say, well, Lorenzo's come in, he's filled my calendar for this week. This guy knows what he's doing. I've sort of gotten a taste of it without now let me book out the next year of my calendar if I work with you. Is that am I getting it right? Is that kind of the approach?
You're getting it right. You're absolutely, because like once you're setting team, because like the point is, how can I get myself out of lead generation as soon as possible? How can I get off of Messenger? How can I take care of all these leads, or in my pipeline, they need to be followed up with, they need like to be converted. How do I create the best opportunity for my selling team? Because if you don't give opportunity, they won't stick. The turnover rate sucks, because like they would think, okay, I'm just going to do it myself. They're not going to do the hard job for you. Like you have to provide them with a solid structure. That like if you hire sellers, first you have to make sure that the structure is solid, so that they're then happy to stay with you, and they have to lose something if they go away. Right. So this is the reason why, like, we're trying to create solid and predictable structures, like, at the end of the day.
And obviously organic scaling systems are you largely predicated on organic traffic? We're looking at any lead source will do, but what do you sort of start with organic, or always have organic running, even if you're running paid ads? Are you looking for sort of any lead source, or do you guys specifically focus on the sort of organic side of things? And if so, why do you tend to focus on organic? Is it the relationship building aspect of organic that works really well?
So you want to elaborate a little?
It's either. I mean, I don't care, as long as you have lead flow, you can monetize that lead flow, and lead flow can come organically. I mean, at some point, if you're using your Facebook profile, it will be saturated, meaning you will have always the same people commenting. Even your Facebook group will be saturated if you're not like running traffic to it, if you're not growing the audience. Like the audience has to grow. The idea is, let's use the same principles that work really well on organic, that can convert cold traffic that comes from cold outreach organic. When you're validating the offer, you have to talk to people, like even do cold outreach. Who cares? Like, I know it sucks, but you have to do it. But once you've done that, you have enough data so that your sellers can see, okay, what has worked here? Okay, this message worked, this sequence worked. Let's use this sequence. And it's like organic, because we use the same principles as we use when we do only organic marketing. And with a lead flow that is provided by advertising, JV partnerships, obviously, your organic audience, but like the same principles that you use with organic, just much more, 100 times more effective when applied to a Facebook group or whatever. But like the launch that 80K with 300 people launched the week, it was all organic with JV partnerships.
So you're really adding fuel to the fire, but you're essentially using organic to validate before you automate, or before you add scale, which again, I think that's a part that people can get wrong. I think we can go straight to automation and systems, and you kind of, I heard somebody mention the other day, don't want to automate a vacuum, right? Don't want to automate something that's not actually working, which I think a lot of us jump to. We want to get hands off, and we just go straight to systems and automations, and we could just be automating something that doesn't actually work. So I think I like what you're saying, that you want to use organic as a validation tool, at least to begin with.
And also, it's like part of the, we cannot change the behavior of the consumer, that they like to stay on social media. So by not having an organic system to convert these people who are hanging out on social media, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue that might be missed, right? So we have to understand where these people are hanging out. If they're no, they don't read emails. They will read the email to join the Facebook group. They will read the email to go to the podcast, right? They will not stay on the email, just like nobody will book a call from an email, or very, very little percentage of people who are maybe incorporate, but not the business models that are growing via social media. So we have to understand where these people are hanging out, and how can we make it consumer friendly, right? How can we make it easy for them to spend money on our products and services, stay on top of mind of as a solution for their problems, making sure that we're growing the network, making sure that they see how the process works. And when they are ready, when they have that problem that has emerging and they want to find the solution, now it's the right time, and it's no more should, it's a must. They know who will be the person that they will work with, right? So again, what I like about this, I would say it's more than a hybrid model of lead generation. It's not only organic, right? So, but the paid advertising is just a tiny little piece that will allow you a new equity. And most of the time with Lorenzo, we say like it's an ethical way to monetize the competition's audience, right? So I'm dropping bombs here. So, right? So it's an ethical way to go out there and monetize something that, like has been built before you, because you're just like showing people a different angle of solving that problem. So it will probably open a new market equity for you while you have a consistent and predictable process of consistently growing. I say like it's a place where you're building the demand for your products and services, and you consistently nurture and convert a lead flow that will allow you to get to your goals. Now, Lorenzo also mentioned like earlier what would be the processes that we are using for that conversion. So obviously, like every process it's possible to reverse engineer and get it to a science, right? So we're no more asking ourselves the question like, how will Messenger work? What the setter should say? What will be the qualification call look like? What will be the sales call? Like all of these processes make sense once we have this kind of like strategy. So there is no more need to spend time or energy to actually work on the system. It's kind of creating a life on its own, but most importantly, your team is now self-sufficient, right? So whatever lead flow you're bringing inside of this system, now you have possibilities to scale 100K per month or more.
Yeah, love it. Love it. So in terms of, if I want to get that done, what are your bookends in terms of where do you start your process and where do you end? Do you come in and sort of help me create the content? Are you helping with the overall strategy? Are you helping me with the execution of posts and content? And are you going through to like, here's all the booked calls. Now you go and close them. Is that sort of where you start and stop?
No, I mean, every time is I think is a challenge, because sometimes we have people that, desperately need to fix their lead flow, and then we start fixing the lead flow. People that have already a lead flow, perhaps a client of ours that we worked with a couple of months ago, and then saw this offer, I need that because he's actually getting a lot of lead flow, but how can I handle these people? So I think that's the sweet spot for people that we can help. Like if you have like a Facebook group, or if you have lead flow, but either can't or don't want to take care of the whole lead flow by yourself, which you shouldn't, by the way. I mean, if you're kind of established. So we basically, we have a pool of setters always ready, and then we train them. We have a private academy to train them, not only to like do appointment setting, but also to write the copy for you.
Right.
Because like this started as an academy for our affiliates, and we're just replicating the process that worked for us with other industries, like to train like their appointment setters, because it's a mess. It's time consuming, right? So what you have to do is really you take care of your team, but I don't want to end up pitching too much here. But it really depends. Like, when should you do it? What should you do? When should you do it? I mean, if you have a consistent lead flow and want to get out of lead generation and maximize your opportunity, that's really the sweet spot. Then the logistics, we can figure out the logistics. For some people, Facebook group that's working, I mean, they don't even need to come up with a low ticket offer. Why?
Right, you can just convert straight from the group because there's enough volume there.
Yeah, I wouldn't start from the low ticket offer. So eventually starting the low ticket offer because that's crazy lucrative, like this outrageous. But probably we can start that in 3 months, I don't know, or 2 months after the process is dialed in, 1 month, I don't care.
Yeah, it's super interesting space, because I think that that end of the business. No, that is the business end of the business, right? You can get leads, you can generate people, you can do all the content, but that appointment setting, getting somebody on a phone call to close them to a sale or to start, as you say, buying things from you, that's the part that if I don't have that, I don't have a business. Right? If I'm not closing sales, I don't have a business. I think it's a very, really, really valuable part of the business. And really love your process and how you're helping people take an asset that they have, whether that's some sort of a list, some sort of a community, and actually starting to monetize that, weed out people that are never going to buy and start to actually make some money out of the list that they have. So I think it can be really, really beneficial for agencies out there that are listening. If people want to find out more about you, come and connect with you, come and work with you, I know you got a new Facebook group that you're about to launch, but where else can people come and connect with you? Where's the best place for them to find you?
Tamara's inbox and
Facebook profile, yes.
Oh, really?
So hit you up on Messenger?
Yeah.
Sure. Most simple.
And then the Facebook group that we're actually launching right now, because we're this Facebook group that we're launching is this brand new Facebook group, really, and we're planning on putting a lot of content in there as a free gift for you attending this presentation and staying till the end. We have we're preparing an appointment setting flow for Facebook groups, but this is something that people already know or already have. We're running a case study on how we did a JV joint venture launch with affiliates and the exact flow that we used so that you can take a look and get inspired from that and have awesome launches as well. Kick ass with those launches.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen a good launch. It sort of used to be really, really popular, right? Doing launches was a massive, probably 5-10 years ago, right? Those big product launches were massive. They seem to have fallen off a little bit, but bring them back.
Yeah, it's a good point, because the idea is not that we're doing a huge launch, is that we're turning something evergreen. Like we're kickstarting it and then we're turning it evergreen.
Yeah, nice.
But numbers don't lie. I mean, launches work. We've done
yeah.
We enjoyed them.
Yeah, the tried and true stuff always works. So yeah, amazing, guys. Thank you so much for dropping by. It was a really, really insightful conversation. I think people get a lot from it. But whether you're, as I said, a coach, a consultant, or particularly if you're an agency owner, I think there's a lot of stuff you can take out of what the guys have spoken about today. And please hit them up, go connect with them. Tamara Lorenzo, thanks for staying up and jumping on the show today. Really appreciate you swinging by. It was great.
Thanks for having us, Chris. It was awesome.
My pleasure. Thanks for everyone for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did. And as always, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.